Mrs. Weathersby, I'm very happy that you consented to talk with us. What is your first name?
Eva.
Miss Eva Weathersby. I think I just finished talking with your son, and he was very informative uh, for our purposes about the early days of Piney Woods School. Now, when did you first hear about Piney Woods School?
Well, I heard about Piney Woods School when I was attending the city school in Jackson, Smith Robinson, living with my sister.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh. Now, is this your home out in this area?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was born at Florence, and I married a man living here, so I've lived here since finishing Piney Woods. I was a member of the first class in Piney Woods School.
Oh, you were. Now, when was that?
It was 1918.
Mm-hmm. Is that the first graduating?
Yeah, the
First
graduating
graduating
class.
class. Right. Mm-hmm. What did you do for graduation? Commencement exercise.
Well, I was the salutatorian of the class,
Mm-hmm.
and we had, uh, well, we didn't, the first class didn't do as they do now. We didn't have a demonstration
Mm-hmm.
of everything. Of course, my work was I worked in the office,
Mm-hmm.
and then I taught, helped the teacher with the classes. We have high school classes, the higher classes in the forenoon.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, in the afternoon they teach the lower grades.
Mm-hmm.
So I was assistant to the teacher in the afternoon of the lower grades.
Mm-hmm. So, how would you compare your educational experience at Piney Woods with that you could have gotten in some other school?
Well, it only offered quite an opportunity for students who wanted to go to school and didn't have a lot of money to bear the expenses. It gave you an opportunity because I know of a number of students that went there that didn't have any money at all, and they were given a chance to work their way, and if they could pay something, whatever it was, corn, potatoes, it's in a farming section.
Right.
So the farmers, if they didn't have money, they could pay with their produce.
Mm-hmm.
And then my sister and I went there at the same time, and the two of us paid $7 a month
Mm-hmm.
for board and room, and we worked the other part of our way.
Mm-hmm. Now, did all of the children pay something at that time, or just the ones who
No,
could
some
afford
of them didn't have.
work the whole thing?
Worked the whole way.
Mm-hmm. Now, since you graduated from Piney Woods in that first class, how have you been associated with the school?
Well, I haven't been too far away from it since I finished. Not many years
Mm-hmm.
away, because I lived in the north for a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then I traveled for school, soliciting funds, representing the school
Oh, you did.
in the north,
Mm-hmm.
in Iowa and Minnesota, for 1 year, and it was quite a boost for them to have graduate that the people that had been accustomed to donating funds for the school to see what the school had produced.
Oh,
So that was quite an asset. My going
oh.
was quite an asset to the school.
Yes, ma'am. Now, you indicated that when you first heard about Piney Woods, you were attending Smith Robinson School in Jackson. Why did you begin to go to Piney Woods?
Well, friends out home at Florence where I was reared was telling me about trades opportunities you could get in that respect, when of course you didn't get
Mm-hmm.
at public school.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was, and then they were, when you finish there, they give you aid you in getting in a higher school.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Someplace.
Dr. Jones was from the north, and so some of his friends would send some of his students north, and they work in home in summer, go to school there in winter, and thereby get higher education.
Yes.
Things like that interested me.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you have much association with Mrs. Jones?
Oh yes,
Mm-hmm.
I worked right along beside her in the office.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell us a little bit about the type of person that she was?
She was a wonderful person. Had a splendid personality, and in the beginning, she was the life of the school.
Mm-hmm.
She could take care and manage, handle students, and things come up far better than he.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she had some training before getting married to him in schoolwork. She had a boys' school there in the north. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was ours.
I believe it was too. Uh-huh.
She had a boys' school on, and because she knew how to operate, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that was one of the reasons for his marrying her, because she would be such help to him in establishing the school down here.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had already gone through that type of routine.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. Now, why did Dr. Jones get the school started in the area?
Well, this my father-in-law, Milton's grandfather, had my husband was going to school to Utica,
Mm-hmm.
and these excuse me, these the church here at St. John, they had organized a little convention, and they had raised money and bought some land, and their purpose was to build a school.
Mm-hmm.
They had the land, but didn't have much money. They bought 5 acres of land, and so in taking his son back to Utica to school, he met Mr. Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He was purposely looking for someone with an education that would like to build a school and come in here and take what little they had, the start that they had, and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's talked to Mr. Jones about it, and it appealed to him. And when school was out, he came over in here to investigate, get a walk around, and get acquainted. That's the only way he had it going was walking.
Mm-hmm.
So he came and stayed with. He came to my Thornton Weathersby's home. That was his name.
Mm-hmm.
Came to his home and stayed with him, and got around among the neighbors and all, and was working up the school. But there was a group, a family, Dixons, that were teaching in here, and they, were a little bit jealous of some foreigner coming in and building a school right in their community, so they fought. And then he went up. There was Ed Taylor, a man at Braxton. He went up in that neighborhood, and this man Taylor told him if he'd come up there and build a school, he would give him 40 acres of land and $50 in money to get started with. So that's how it happened to be where it is.
Oh, so, well, this land that they had bought, was it right in this Delo community?
Yeah, it's right about a mile, right straight across here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, what happened to the Dixon School?
Oh, Dixon didn't have a school.
Uh-huh.
They just, well, they taught school. They were the teachers, rural teachers.
Mm-hmm.
The Dixons, quite a few of them, most of them were teachers, and not well-educated teachers.
Yes, ma'am.
But they just taught rural schools. That's the only teaching they ever did.
Mm-hmm. I see. Well, that's a very interesting story about the early days of, Piney Woods and how it came that Dr. Jones came to this area. Now, uh, do you know of any relationship between Piney Woods and Utica Institute in those earlier days?
Well, Mr. Jones was just teaching there.
Mm-hmm. I see.
He just finished our state university. I believe it's our
Yes.
state.
Yes, ma'am.
And of course he came. I don't know how he got in contact with Mr. Hostclaw,
Mm-hmm.
principal of the school down there.
Mm-hmm.
But Hostclaw, I think, organized a school there.
He did. Yes, ma'am. That is true.
And he met Mr. Jones in our somehow, and he got employed him to come to his school and work.
Mm-hmm.
And so my father-in-law, Fort Weathersby, met him there.
Mm-hmm.
And brought him up here.
What about the reputation of Piney Woods School at the time that you went there? Was it a good reputation among everybody? I understood you said about, they had a trade school there, whereas you probably couldn't have gotten a trade at some of the other schools, I understand.
Well, as far, it had a pretty good reputation as far as that goes, and it had offered opportunity to many a poor boy and girl who otherwise wouldn't have had a chance to go to school. Mm-hmm. And then some of these graduates nowadays, their parents got that start at Piney Woods. But building on that now, they are finishing colleges, universities. We have this, what is it? Lou Emma Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother and her grandmother went to
Mm-hmm.
school there, and they were back out in the woods right there.
Right.
And she is doing wonderful work now
Yes, ma'am.
at Toulouse.
Right. Mm-hmm. I guess Piney Woods has had a number of very successful
Yes.
graduates there.
Yeah, but that's just one.
Mm-hmm.
And,
What about some of the great traditions of Piney Woods that you think are important? Things that they've always done there.
well, there's one thing they always taught you to work with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to do something and do it well.
Mm-hmm.
And that Piney Woods has had from the beginning had a record like that. But as of now, there are. You see, as times change things, the
Mhm.
conditions, when you have to change with the times,
Right.
to keep up. But there's one thing about it that Dr. Jones doesn't. He wants it to stay just as it was
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning.
Right.
He doesn't want to change. He thinks it's unique. Their method was different from other schools, was and is, and he wants it to remain the same.
Well, wasn't it very similar to what they were doing at Utica and Prentice Institute?
Well, similar,
Mm-hmm.
but not altogether. It
Mhm.
is a little bit different.
Can you give any ways how?
Well, I'm not. I don't know of any other school that would have graduation like Piney Woods graduation.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to, well, for instance, maybe Milton told you that he worked with the farm.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
he
Mhm.
cattle. He was studying toward what he's doing now, veterinary medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he couldn't get it there, but he worked with stock.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought a pig, a live pig, in on the rostrum and gave it a shot, following what he had to say. Said his little say, had his little say, and then demonstrated it by giving the pig. Lord brought a pig on, and he brought a pig up and gave him a shot. Well, and then the others, my other son, Martin, he was studying toward being a mechanic. And after he explained made a little talk, then he tore down a motor on and took it all apart, laid it out, and then put it all back together while right there on stage in the presence of everybody they could see. So, and then, say for instance, my sister, when she finished, she cooked and had the stove there arranged there
on the stage.
Yeah.
They're still carrying these types of
yeah,
things
he's
on,
still
right?
doing that. Yeah.
But I understood before you had been doing some thinking about Dr. Jones maybe clinging to tradition, that is doing the same old things all the time. How much value is there in doing this?
I don't see any. No.
Any there. But Dr. Jones perceives this to be something unique and
Yeah,
that should go on.
He considers that to be extremely unique, and nobody else is doing it. He has always done it just like that, and nobody else has done it just like that. And he wants it to forever to be just like that. But I don't see any value in it.
Do you know anything about Dr. Jones' relationship with other educational institutions in Mississippi, or black education in Mississippi anyway, other than at Piney Woods? That is, his cooperation with the Board of Education or anything like that?
Oh, well, he used to, let me see, I can't think of the man's name. He was head of
education in the state.
Education head in the state.
Eason?
Dr. Eason has come and visited the school and tried as much as he possibly could to let them take the school over and with his start make what he thought it ought to be out of it. But Dr. Jones never.
He wanted to keep his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because that does say the importance of this type of a study at this point. Do you have any other recollections about those early days at Piney Woods that you'd like to
but
have
one
reported?
thing about Dr. Eason, he didn't stop coming.
Yes, ma'am.
He's still come to school, attend commencements and things like that.
Now, are there any stories about Piney Woods, the early days, the history that you think is important?
Well, it might be that I could tell a story. I stayed there a long, long time. But I would have to, well, I'd at least need, I just couldn't tell it straight up.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd have to, I might
think of something later on for me. Okay, well, I want to thank you for this brief interview, Mrs. Weathersby, and we would welcome your sending to me any types of information you have on Piney Woods, clippings and things like that you did in the earlier days. So I'll be in touch with you. Here.